Paul Erdős was one of the most extraordinary mathematicians of the 20th century. He had no permanent home. He traveled the world with a single suitcase, showing up at colleagues' doors and working through problems together. He published more papers than almost anyone in history. He also had a habit, a slightly obsessive one, of collecting unsolved problems, puzzles that fascinated him, questions he couldn't quite crack. By the end of his life in 1996, he had assembled more than 1,000 of them. Some came with small cash prizes. Some had been open for decades. Erdős problem number 1196 was posed in 1966. 60 years passed. Nobody cracked it. Then Liam Price came along. Price is young, self-taught, and passionate about mathematics, but he didn't approach this problem the way a trained researcher would. He sat down with ChatGPT, worked through the problem iteratively, fed solutions back into the system, asked it to find its own errors, and kept pushing until something clicked. And it did. But here's where things get interesting. The solution wasn't just correct, it was surprising. The problem involves something called primitive sets, collections of whole numbers where no number evenly divides any other. Think of prime numbers. No prime divides another prime, so they form a primitive set. Mathematicians who'd previously tried to crack this problem almost always reached for a particular tool set. The language of probability theory. That was the natural way in, the intuitive starting point everyone gravitated toward. ChatGPT didn't do that. It stayed in the original language of the problem, pure number theory, and still arrived at the same conceptual connection. It found the same underlying relationship, but from a completely different direction. Stanford mathematician Jared Duker Lichtman compared it to chess, specifically to an AI discovering an opening that generations of human players had never explored. Not because it was bad, but because human convention had quietly ruled it out. Nobody tried it because nobody thought to try it. That's a subtle but genuinely important distinction. The AI had no aesthetic preferences, no intuitions built up over years of study, no idea what looks right. It just worked the problem, and in doing so found a path that human convention had invisibly closed off.